Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hey. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hey. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Rakshama. Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Pahima. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Ahimam. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya, Uttale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta, Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve, Gauravani Pracharane, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi, Paschatya Desha Tarane. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasadi Gaur, Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Apavitra Pavitro Va, Sarva Avastang Gutopi Va, Yat Smaret Pundarik Akshang, Sabaya Abhyantara Suchihi. Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu, Shri Vishnu. Om Ajnana Timirandasya, Jnana Anjana Shalakaya, Chakshur Militang Yena, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Trinadapi Sunichena, Torad Iva Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatir Anyata. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today we're going to have a long class because I want to do the whole pastime of the story of Vrikasura. So it's going to be long and I want to do it all. So with your permission, shall we start? Okay, everybody. So happy to see you. So happy. So this is chapter 88 of Krishna book, The Deliverance of Lord Shiva. This is the 4th episode in this chapter, entitled The Story of Vrikasura. Hold on while I change something. Hold on. All right. All right. As for the benedictions given by demigods like Lord Shiva, there is the following historical incident cited by great sages. Once, Lord Shiva, after giving a benediction to a demon named Vrika-asura, was himself entrapped in a very dangerous position. Vrika-asura was searching after a benediction and trying to decide which of the three presiding deities to worship in order to get his benediction. In the meantime, Vrika-asura happened to meet the great sage Narada Muni Bajaya Vina Radhika Ramana Name. And Vrika-asura consulted with Narada as to whom he should approach in order to achieve quick results from his austerity. Thus, Vrika inquired, "My dear Narada, of the three deities, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, tell me, who is the most quickly satisfied?" Narada could understand the plan of the demon, and so he advised Vrika as follows. "Oh, you had better worship Lord Shiva. Then you will quickly get the desired result. Lord Mahadev is very quickly satisfied, but also very quickly dissatisfied. So you should try to satisfy Lord Shiva." Narada also cited instances wherein demons like Ravana and Bana-asura were enriched with great opulences simply by satisfying Lord Shiva with prayers. Because the great sage Narada was aware of the nature of the demon Vrika-asura, Narada did not advise Vrika to approach Lord Vishnu or Lord Brahma. For persons such as Vrika-asura, who are situated in the material mode of ignorance, cannot stick to the worship of Lord Vishnu. So, after receiving instruction from Narada, the demon Vrika-asura went to Kedaranatha. The pilgrimage site of Kedaranath still exists near Kashmir. It is always almost covered by snow, but for a part of the year, during the month of July, it is possible to see the deity. And devotees go there to offer their respects. Kedaranath is for the devotees of Lord Shiva. According to the Vedic principle, when something is offered to the deities to eat, it is offered in a fire. Therefore, a fire sacrifice is necessary in all sorts of ceremonies. It is specifically stated in the Shastras that the demigods are to be offered something to eat through fire. The demon Vrika therefore went to Kedaranath and ignited a sacrificial fire just to please Lord Shiva. After igniting the fire in the name of Shiva, Vrika began to offer his own flesh by cutting it from his body just to please Lord Shiva. Now, Prabhupada would like to comment. Here is an instance of worship in the mode of ignorance. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains, Aharas tu api sarvasya Tri vidho bhavati priya yagyas tapas tata danam teshang bedam imang shrinu. Different types of sacrifice are mentioned. Some sacrifices are in the mode of goodness, some in the mode of passion, and some in the mode of ignorance. And there are different kinds of tapasya, austerity, and worship. And this is because there are different kinds of people within this world. But we should know without a doubt that the ultimate tapasya, or Krishna consciousness, is the topmost yoga and the topmost sacrifice, as confirmed by Krishna at the end of chapter 6 of the Gita. Yoginam api sarveshang madgatain antar atmana sradhavan bhajate yomang same yukta tamo mataha. The topmost yoga is to think always of Lord Krishna within the heart. And the topmost sacrifice is to perform the Sankirtan Yajna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. In Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 7, Krishna states, Kamaistaistayar kritagyana prapadyante anya devata tang tang niyamamas paya prakritya niyata swaya. Krishna says that the worshippers of demigods have lost their better intelligence. As will be revealed later in this chapter, Vrika-asura wanted to satisfy Lord Shiva for a third-class materialistic objective, which was temporary and without any real benefit. The demons, asuras, persons in the mode of ignorance, will accept such benedictions from the demigods. However, in complete contrast to this kind of sacrifice performed by Vrika-asura in the mode of ignorance, the Archan Vidhi process for worshipping Lord Vishnu or Krishna is very simple. Lord Krishna says in chapter 9 of Gita just how simple it is to worship Him. Patrang pushpang palang toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadahang bhakti uparitam ashnami prayatatmanaha. So Krishna says that He will accept from His devotee even a little fruit, a flower, some water, which can be gathered by any person, rich or poor. Of course, those who are rich are not expected to offer only a little water or a little piece of fruit or a little leaf to the Lord. No, a rich man should offer according to his position. But if the devotee happens to be a very poor man, the Lord will accept even the most meager offering. The worship of Lord Vishnu or Krishna is very simple, and it can be executed by anyone in this material world. Even Krishna says in chapter 9 of Gita, Susukam kartum avyayam, that this process of Krishna consciousness is joyfully performed, easy, and not difficult at all. But worship in the mode of ignorance as exhibited by Vrika-asura, is not only very difficult and painful, but it is also a useless waste of time. Therefore, Krishna said previously, when we quoted Bhagavad Gita, that the worshippers of the demigods are bereft of intelligence. Their process of worship is very difficult, and at the same time, the result obtained is flickering and temporary. Indeed, in chapter 7, Krishna speaks of 4 different shlokas, all describing why it is not preferable to engage in the worship of demigods, and it is much better to worship Krishna. Although Vrika-asura continued his sacrifice for 6 days, still he was unable to personally see Lord Shiva, which was his objective. Vrika-asura wanted to see Lord Shiva face to face and then ask him for a benediction. Here is another contrast between the demon and the devotee. A devotee is confident that whatever one offers to the deity in full devotional service will be accepted by the Lord. But a demon wants to see one's worshipable deity face to face, so that the demon can directly take the benediction. On the other hand, the devotee does not worship Vishnu or Lord Krishna for any benediction. Therefore, the devotee is called akama, free of desire, and the non-devotee is called sarvakama, or desirous of everything. This was mentioned by Shukadeva Goswami in the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now on the 7th day, the demon Vrika-asura decided that he should cut off his own head and offer it to Lord Shiva. Thus, Vrika took a bath in a nearby lake, and without even drying his body and hair, Vrika prepared to cut off his own head. According to the Vedic system, an animal to be offered as a sacrifice first has to be bathed, and while the animal is wet, it is sacrificed. So when the demon was preparing to cut off his own head, then Lord Shiva became very compassionate. Prabhupada now comments on this. This compassion is a symptom of the quality of goodness. Lord Shiva is called Tri-linga, or a mixture of the 3 material qualities: goodness, passion, and ignorance. Therefore, this manifestation of the nature of compassion by Lord Shiva is a sign of the quality of goodness. This compassion, however, is present in every living entity. So the compassion of Lord Shiva was aroused not because the demon was offering his flesh into the sacrificial fire, but because Vrika was about to commit suicide. So this is only natural compassion. Why? Even if a common man sees someone preparing to commit suicide, one will try to save that person. One does it automatically. There is no need to appeal to anyone. Therefore, when Lord Shiva appeared from the fire to check the demon from suicide, Actually, it was not a very great favor to him. Lord Shiva's touch saved the demon from committing suicide. His bodily injuries immediately healed, and his body became as it was before. Then Lord Shiva told the demon, "My dear Vrika-asura, you did not need to cut off your head. You may ask for me any benediction you like, and I shall fulfill your desire. I do not know why you wanted to cut off your head just to satisfy me. No, I become satisfied even by an offering of a little water." Prabhupada now comments. Actually, according to the Vedic process, the Shiva Linga in the temple, or the form of Lord Shiva in the temple, is worshipped simply by offering Ganges water, because it is said Lord Shiva is greatly satisfied when Ganges water is poured upon his head. Generally, devotees offer Ganges water and the leaves of the bilva tree, which are specially meant for offering to Lord Shiva and Goddess Durga. And the fruit of this bilva tree is also offered to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva assured Vrika-asura that he is satisfied by a very simple process of worship. Why then was Vrika so anxious to cut off his head? And why was Vrika taking so much pain by cutting his body to pieces and offering it in the fire? There was no need of such severe penances. Anyway, out of compassion and sympathy, Lord Shiva prepared to give Vrika any benediction he liked. And when the demon was offered this facility by Lord Shiva, Vrika asked for a fearful and abominable benediction. This demon, Vrika-asura, was very, very sinful, and sinful persons do not know what sort of benediction should be asked from the deity. Therefore, Vrika asked Lord Shiva to be blessed with such a power that as soon as Vrika would touch anyone's head, it would immediately crack and the man would die. Prabhupada explains. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna describes the demons as dushkritis, or miscreants. Kriti means very meritorious, and when the affix du or prefix du is added, it means abominable. Instead of surrendering unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the dushkritis or miscreants worship different demigods in order to derive abominable material benefits. Although the dushkritis have brain power and merit, their merit and brain power are used for abominable activities. Sometimes nowadays, for example, materialistic scientists have invented lethal weapons. The scientific research for such inventions certainly requires a very good brain. But instead of inventing something beneficial to human society, instead they invent something just to accelerate death, which is already assured to everyone. So these different kinds of demons in the form of scientists cannot show their meritorious power by inventing something which can actually save man from death. Rather, they invent weapons instead, which simply accelerate the process of death. Similarly, Vrika-asura, instead of asking Lord Shiva for something beneficial, he asked for something very dangerous to human society. Lord Shiva is powerful enough to give any benediction. The demon could have asked for something beneficial for himself, but for his so-called personal interest, he asked that anyone whose head would be touched by his hand would at once die. Naturally, Lord Shiva could now understand the unusual motive of this demon, and now Lord Shiva was very sorry. He was sorry that he had assured Vrika whatever benediction he wanted, and Lord Shiva could not withdraw his promise. But he was very sorry in his heart that he was to offer him a benediction so dangerous to human society. Devotees of the personality of Godhead never ask any benediction from Lord Vishnu or Krishna. And even if they do ask something from Krishna, it is certainly not at all dangerous. That is the difference between demons and devotees. That is the difference between worshippers of Lord Shiva and the worshippers of Lord Vishnu. And while Shukadeva Goswami was narrating the history of Vrika-asura, he addressed Maharaj Parikshit as Bharata. In this way, referencing King Parikshit's birth in a family of devotees. Indeed, Parikshit was saved by Lord Krishna even while in his mother's womb. Her name was Uttara. Later, Parikshit could have asked Lord Krishna to save him from the curse of the Brahmin boy, but he did not do so. The demon, however, Vrika-asura, wanted to become immortal by killing everyone with the touch of his hand. Lord Shiva could understand this, but because he had given his promise, Shiva gave Vrika-asura the benediction. However, this demon, being very sinful, immediately decided that he would use the benediction to kill Lord Shiva and take away Gauri, Parvati, for his own personal enjoyment. Vrika-asura immediately decided to place his hand on the head of Lord Shiva. Now, Lord Shiva was in an awkward position because he was now endangered by his own benediction to a demon. This is an instance of a materialistic devotee misusing the power derived from the demigods. Without any further deliberation, Vrika-asura approached Lord Shiva to place his hand on Shiva's head. Lord Shiva was so afraid of Vrika-asura that his body began to tremble, and he fled from the land to the sky, and from the sky to other planets, until he reached the limits of the universe. above even the higher planetary systems. Lord Shiva fled from one place to another, but the demon Vrika-asura continued chasing Lord Shiva. The predominating deities of other planets, such as Brahma, Indra, and Chandra, could not find any way to save Lord Shiva from the impending danger. For wherever Lord Shiva went, they remained silent. At last, Lord Shiva approached Lord Vishnu, who is situated within this universe on the planet known as Shweta-dwipa, the White Island in the midst of the Ocean of Milk. Shweta-dweep is the local Vaikuntha planet, but still beyond the jurisdiction of the influence of the external energy. Lord Vishnu, in his all-pervasive feature, remains everywhere, but wherever he remains personally is considered Vaikuntha. Prabhupada now comments. In Bhagavad Gita, it is stated that the Lord remains within the heart of all living entities. As such, the Lord remains within the heart of many low-born living entities. But that does not mean that Krishna becomes low-born. No. Wherever Krishna remains is transformed into Vaikuntha, the spiritual world. So the planet within this material universe, known as Shweta-dwipa, is also a Vaikuntha loka, although within the so-called jurisdiction of the material energy. In the Shastras, it is said that residential quarters within the forest are in the mode of ignorance. Residential quarters in big cities, towns, and villages are in the mode of passion. And residential quarters in an atmosphere wherein indulgence in the four sinful activities, namely illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling predominate, that residential quarter is in the mode of ignorance. But residential quarters in a temple of Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, that is Vaikuntha. And it doesn't matter where the temple is situated. The temple itself, wherever it may be, is considered Vaikuntha. Similarly, the Shweta-dwipa planet, although within the material jurisdiction, is simply Vaikuntha, transcendental. Lord Shiva finally entered Shweta-dweep Vaikuntha. In Shweta-dweep, there are great saintly persons who are completely freed from the envious nature of the material world, and they are beyond the jurisdiction of the four principles of material activity, namely dharma, religion, artha, economic development, kama, sense gratification, and moksha, liberation. Anyone who enters into Vaikuntha never returns to this material world. Now, Lord Narayan is celebrated as a lover of his devotees. And as soon as he understood that Lord Shiva was in great danger, Lord Narayan appeared as a brahmachari and personally approached Lord Shiva, receiving him from a distant place. The Lord appeared as a perfect brahmachari with a belt around his waist, a sacred thread, a deer skin, and a brahmachari stick, as well as Raudra beads. Prabhupada comments, Raudra beads are different from Tulsi beads. Raudra beads are used by devotees of Lord Shiva. And so, dressed as a brahmachari, Lord Narayana stood before Lord Shiva. The shining effulgence emanating from his body attracted not only Lord Shiva, but also the demon Vrika-asura. Lord Narayan then offered his respects and obeisances unto Vrika-asura, just to attract his sympathy and attention. Thus, stopping the demon, the Lord addressed him as follows. Oh, my dear son of Shakuni, Vrika, why, you appear very tired, as if coming from a very distant place. Tell me, what is your purpose? Why have you come so far? I see that you are fatigued, so I request you to take a little rest. You should not unnecessarily tire your body. Why? Everyone greatly values his or her body, because with this body only, one can fulfill all the desires within one's mind. Therefore, we should not unnecessarily give trouble to one's body. Now, Srila Prabhupada comments. And so, Lord Vishnu, disguised as a brahmachari, addressed Vrika-asura as the son of Shakuni, just to convince him that he was known to his father, Shakuni. Vrika-asura then took the brahmachari to be someone known to his family. And therefore, the sympathetic words of the brahmachari appealed to Vrika-asura. Before the demon could argue that he had no time to take rest, the Lord informed Vrika about the importance of one's body, and the demon became convinced. After all, any man, especially a demon, takes one's body to be very important. Thus, Vrika-asura became convinced about the importance of his own body. Then, just to pacify the demon, Lord Vishnu, disguised as a brahmachari, spoke to the demon. Oh, my dear Vrika-asura, now if you can think that you can disclose the mission for which you have taken the trouble to come here, then maybe I shall be able to help you. I want that because in that way your purpose will be easily served. Prabhupada comments, indirectly, the Lord informed Vrika-asura that because the Lord is the supreme Brahman, he would certainly be able to adjust the awkward situation created by Lord Shiva. The demon then became greatly pacified, hearing the sweet words of Lord Narayana in the form of a brahmachari. And at last, Vrika-asura disclosed all that had happened in regard to the benediction offered to him by Lord Shiva. The brahmachari then replied to the demon as follows. I myself cannot believe that Lord Shiva has in truth given you such a benediction. As far as I know, Lord Shiva is not in a sane mental condition. Recently, he had a quarrel with his father-in-law, Daksha, and consequently has become cursed to become a pishacha, ghost. And Lord Shiva has now become the leader of the ghosts and hobgoblins. Therefore, Vrika-asura, I cannot put any faith in Shiva's words. But if you still have faith in the words of this Lord Shiva, then why don't you make an experiment? Yes, my dear king of the demons, you should make an experiment by putting your own hand on your own head. Then, when you see that the benediction proves to be false, you can immediately kill this liar, Lord Shiva, so that in the future he will not dare give out any false benedictions. Prabhupada comments, in this way, hearing the sweet words of Lord Narayan in the form of the brahmachari, and also by the expansion of his superior illusion, the demon Vrika-asura became bewildered. He actually forgot the power of Lord Shiva as well as his benediction. Thus, Vrika-asura was easily persuaded to put his hand on his own head. And as soon as the demon did that, his head cracked as if struck by thunder, and he immediately died. Jai! The demigods from heaven then showered flowers on Lord Narayan, praising him with shouts of all glories, all thanksgiving. And they offered also obeisances to the Lord. Upon the death of Vrika-asura, all the denizens in the higher planetary systems, namely the demigods, the Pitris, the Gandharvas, and the inhabitants of Janaloka, showered flowers on the personality of Godhead. Thus, Lord Vishnu, in the form of a brahmachari, released Lord Shiva from the impending danger and saved the whole situation. Lord Narayan then informed Lord Shiva that actually this demon, Vrika-asura, was killed as the result of his own sinful activities. Vrika-asura was especially sinful and offensive because he wanted to experiment on his own master, Lord Shiva, who had given him the benediction. Lord Narayan then spoke to Lord Shiva. My dear Lord, any person who commits an offense to great souls cannot continue to exist. Indeed, one is vanquished by one's own sinful activities. And this is certainly true of this demon, who has committed such an offense against you. Thus, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, who is transcendental, to all material qualities, Lord Shiva was saved from being killed by a demon. Now, Prabhupada says something very, very nice. Listen to this. Anyone who hears this history with faith and devotion is certainly liberated from material entanglement, as well as from the clutches of one's enemies. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of the 88th chapter of Krishna book, entitled The Deliverance of Lord Shiva. So, I have a purport that I added, so we'll do that purport next week, and we'll just end the class here. So, let us now do the prayers of insurance on all my wonderful Krishna book students, who I love you as my own family. All right, let's do it. Namaste Narasimhaya Praklada Akhlada Dayane Hiranya Kashipura Vaksha Shila Tanka Nakalaye Ito Nrsinga Parato Nrsingo Yato Yato Yami Tato Nrsinga Bahir Nrsingo Hridaye Nrsingo Nrsingham Ading Sharanam Prapadye Nrsingham Ading Sharanam Prapadye Nrsingham Ading Sharanam Prapadye Tavakara Kamala Vare Nakam Adbhuta Sringam Dalita Hiranya Kashipu Tanu Bringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadish Jai Jagadish Jai Jagadisha Hare Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Tat Sat